I think this year's World Radiography Day celebrations have been very successful.
We've got a lot of resistance for role extension by some young radiologists who didn't know where we came from.
Actually, it started in Mulago here, where I am.
Because when we come together, we improve knowledge, we improve skills.
I think I enjoyed the band more because it was more of quite an exercise.
Key factors they need to monitor on a monthly basis for them to be able to understand their business.
Together, we can unite, and together, we can promote the profession.
Thank you, Juan, for this opportunity, for allowing us as students to, put ourselves out to the world.
A mother arrives at a regional hospital carrying her child, weak and breathless. Medicine alone cannot explain what is happening to her beloved child. She stands confused, without knowing what to do next. But inside an imaging room, a radiographer gently positions this boy's body for an X-ray. Within seconds, the hidden truth is revealed and a life is saved. Across Uganda, from Kampala to Gulu, Mbarara to Arua, thousands of similar stories unfold every single day. These are stories of answers, stories of hope, stories of healing made possible through medical imaging. To many, medical imaging is a machine. To radiographers, medical imaging is a language spoken through X-rays that guide emergency surgeries, ultrasound that hears the heartbeat of a child and yet unborn, CT and MRI that map out the brain and the spine, giving breathtaking details, mammography that detects cancers early, fluoroscopy and interventional imaging that treats without open surgery, nuclear medicine that traces diseases in the deepest body cells that no one can see. Of course, radiotherapy that fights cancers with precision and hope. Those are not just a technology. Those are lifelines. But this journey of radiography in Uganda has not been an easy one. Uganda continues to suffer from shortage of trained imaging professionals, limited access to advanced equipment in many districts, high demand, long shifts, and emotional strains of radiographers. The constant responsibility of safety for patients and the general public, staff, the growing need of specialization, research, and innovation. And yet, the radiographers in Uganda have never stopped showing up. And with resilience, great progress has risen. Training programs are expanding. CT, MRI, ultrasound scans are reaching more communities. Cancer treatment through radiation therapy is advancing. The Society of Radiography in Uganda continues to lead professionals forward, strengthening regulations, education, improving and encouraging ethics, and making sure everyone is safe while in radiation environments. Every image captured is a step forward to a healthier nation. On the 8th of November, Uganda joins the rest of the world to celebrate the World Radiography Day. On that day, we pause to honor the silent heroes of medical imaging in Uganda, the ones who guide the surgeon's hand, the ones who help a mother hear the heartbeat of their baby child before even they are born, the ones who detect cancer early when it can still be defeated, the ones who stand at the front of the lines during pandemics and emergencies like COVID-19 when everyone was hiding inside their houses, who will never hide when everyone is shaking or confused of what to do next. We are talking about the eye of medicine. On that day, we honor every radiographer in every unit, every hospital, in every region, and in every small private or public radiography unit. To all the radiographers in Uganda, thank you for seeing what others cannot see, for giving answers where families are afraid, for turning the shadows and dark spots into clear images, and for turning fear into hope. Rate you the vision behind every diagnosis. We are going to interact with the different stakeholders, team players that have done everything possible to see the celebration of the World Radiography Day on the 8th of November 2025 become a success. With so many activities that ranged from sports gala, physical fitness exercises, conferences, presentations, and a discussion of how to push this noble professional forward. It is needless to say that the growth and the journey of radiography in Uganda has not been a smooth one, ranging from lack of proper recognition, lack of transparent and adequate recruitment, even with so many professionals attaining higher levels of academic and training qualifications, lack of equitable salaries as compared to other colleagues within the medical fraternities with the same level of academic qualification, say a bachelor's in the other field being paid higher than a bachelor's in radiography. Of course, also lack of training institutions in some parts of the country, with majorly almost 80% of the training institution of radiography located in the district of Kampala, leaving the rest of the country to suffer from adequate training institutions, where many have been forced to travel either abroad or to travel to central Uganda to acquire a training in this noble profession. But along with those challenges, more stories of success have been achieved, and all this we are going to hear in the following documentary. To all my fellow radiographers, a happy Radiography Day, and I wish you a nice time watching where we've come from, where we are, and where we are headed as radiographers in Uganda. Joining by now the president of the fraternity, that is Mr. Muhanji Mika. Mr. Muhanji, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, how have you been today?
Very good. Uganda is okay.
Thank you so much for leading the celebration of the recent commemoration of the World Radiography Day in Makere. Just to start, how would you describe this year's World Radiography Day celebration in Uganda? What exactly stood out for you?
I think this year's World Radiography Day celebrations have been very successful. What stood out was the presence of the media, because we are trying to do awareness. So with the media, we are able to spread the message not only at the conference, not only from peers to peers, not only from the professionals to the patients and clients, but we are able to spread it to everyone in the world.
What was the theme of this year, and why did you choose that theme for this year's celebrations?
So the theme for this year was medical imaging professionals partnering for a healthy future. And why we basically chose this theme was we're trying to be inclusive of everyone. We want to show people that actually more interested, people having healthy lives. If you have a healthy life, then you're going to reduce your expense on health. Then you're able to develop you as a person. You're able to become wealthy. You're able to do other things by not investing your money in technology or in diagnosis. And one of the reasons because why people get poor is because all these are very high levels of poverty is because people have to put in a lot of money into their health. So we're trying to make awareness about that, about the medical imaging professionals who do these authentic examinations, where they can do them, which exams to do, and things like that, and not to be diagnosed by quacks, because they're going to end up increasing on their budget by having wrong diagnosis, which is going to impact on their health, maybe by treating the effects of the medicine they're given, or it's going to change their medical history because they're going to be treated for something they have. So you end up spending more money by seeing people who are not qualified. So that is why I think we're choosing around this thing, because we want to make awareness about that. But we have to work together in order to solve the issues that face us. Now, us as leaders, we understand that we have to be creating that network. So both the Allied Health Professionals Council, the Nurses and Midwives Council, the Uganda Medical and Dental Practitioners Council all have professionals who are interconnected. For example, the Uganda Medical and Dental Practitioners Council has radiologists. These use radiology. The Allied Health Professionals Council has the radiographers. These ones use radiology. We have some nurses who are legally practicing in radiology. Those ones cannot be handled by the other councils, but they have to be taken to the disciplinary councils of those councils there. Now, it goes beyond their schemes of SATs, the roles they're stipulated to undertake by maybe doing an X-ray, by doing, you cannot bring them to a Allied Health Professions Council because they're not the one which licenses that individual. So that person has to be taken back to nurses and
From what I saw on different media and streams, it looks like you had a very successful event. How did that event help to increase awareness about the importance of radiography in healthcare delivery to the people who attended, but also to those that you think watched whatever presentations and the band actually in town that you had?
One of the things why we had a lot of media was to spread awareness, both on local radio networks, TV, print media, and online articles. Basically, to have a wider reach, because if we were to use one, then we would not have captured the many people. So we want people to understand, and just like I will quote our Professor Okimka, the chairperson of Allied Health, what he says is that the medical imaging professionals, inadequate staffing is undermining accurate diagnosis and treatment outcomes. So if you see a chairperson saying statements like that, that means they are seeing the problem, and it's up to some of these people like policymakers, decision makers at ministries, departments, and agencies of government to make sure that radiography professionals are put into the budget. So that is how we are effecting change. Because if these people who are deciding the decision makers in these MD, the ministry departments and agencies, MDAs, if they're able to make that decision to have a budget to have this professional on ground, aid accurate diagnosis and treatment after diagnosis, then the people are going to get, because radiography services are one of the highly consuming of income. Because if you go for a lab tests are free of charge. And most times lab tests can cost between 5,000 and 10,000, 15,000. Maximum you might have like 20,000. The ones that are mostly done. But if you have to look at a scan, even when you're at a government facility, I'll use Murago for example. A scan is 50,000, an X-ray is 50,000. Yet the lab services are free of charge. So you can understand there's a discrepancy there. So these tests consume a lot of money. So one X-ray you can combine like 5 lab tests. So that's why we are very critical on the staffing and also the having that the equipment are there in these government facilities.
You've talked about policy making. My interaction and recent observation, it's like we've had some hurdles getting some levels of qualification in radiography actually being appreciated, being incorporated into the scheme of service. How is the society working with Ministry of Health, training institutions, hospitals to strengthen the radiography practice in Uganda? Because it hurts that I am doing a master's in nuclear medicine. Maybe I'm going to do a PhD after, but I'm so worried that when I come back, the most important paper in my file is the diploma, which I got from Lago Paramedical. How are you working to make sure that we strengthen this kind of practice and higher education among radiographers in Uganda?
So I am glad that you have upgraded. You now have your master's in nuclear medicine. We don't teach it here in Uganda, licensed to teach. However, there has been, due to lack of expertise, they have not been able to teach some of the courses, for example, nuclear medicine. However, for courses, for example, like radiotherapy, Makere is teaching it. The only one teaching radiotherapy, but that one can be gotten here. So we are trying to build resources, even with ministry. We don't have a focal person, and that is why we're trying to liaise with them to have an assistant commissioner in charge of medical imaging and radiotherapeutic services. This person is going to be there to help us do policy formulation. But currently, as it is, the commissioner, as Dr. Susan Nabata, who is the commissioner of National Health Laboratory and Diagnostic Services, does not have an assistant who can help her to draft, who can give policy formulation, try to analyze the gaps in the service. And Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, I'm glad, has taken up one of the radiographers just to make sure that there is incorporation and there's something about the teaching and policy formulation coming from an expert in that field. So we have a person in Ministry of Education, but we don't have a person in Ministry of Health. So that's why we are pushing on this day, and that's why we called the permanent secretary to be our guest of honor, and she gave her message there through the commissioner, Dr. Susan Nabada. So this is work in progress. Of course, nuclear medicine is going to be taught here in a few years from now. I'm not saying today, but a few years from now, nuclear medicine. However, now that they're going to start also building the department and capacity-wise, so I'm sure they're going to also advertise for a nuclear medicine technology, and you'll be able to be absorbed there. So I think there's progress, slow as it is, but we are getting somewhere. So we are trying to push these government institutions to make sure that some of these things are incorporated, because when you have experts advising you, you're able to do the right thing. But if you have someone who is not an expert in that field advising, definitely things are going to be amiss, or they're going to be wrong.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. President, for actually giving me hope that I may have a new office. Otherwise, I was worried because there has been always a pull back and forth about the scheme of service and which qualification of people actually can be absorbed in some of these public, especially hospitals. And when you also got the private, because they know the public places are not absorbing them, they're also not willing to give you an opportunity. They want to take you on like any other person. But I'm glad that we've made that progress. I know it's not been easy, so I want to appreciate all those people that have been on that for a fight. Mr. President, to organize these celebrations, it needs money. It needs money that sometimes the society does not have. So that always calls in for collaboration, both from a private company, some institutions, business community. Most of the time we've been running to suppliers of equipment. What are some of the sponsorship partnerships that you had this year for the celebration, and how important were they in making sure this day is successful?
So the sponsors, we had quite a number, and these are mostly distributors of medical equipment, especially in terms of radiology and imaging. So some of the sponsors that we had were Mediquip. That was one of our platinum sponsors. They gave us some good amount of money to make sure that the organization is there. One is that looking at target market, that the audience of the radiographers can be able to see the products that they have and also enter into that market. That's why.
As far as I know, running and radiography as a president, because I've not been so close to the top of the leadership, but being in Mulaga, I've always been to the corridors of power of the society, and I know there are some always challenges and opportunities. Let us start. What are some of the current challenges that radiographers in Uganda are facing today, and how is the society working to address that?
Yeah, Uganda. One is the absorption. People have had their qualifications, like they have attained qualifications, and they are not being absorbed by government. One of the reasons they say is the wage bill, just like the commissioner mentioned that the World Radiography Day is the wage bill. The political people do not, or the the MPs, the government, the executive branch of government does not put that wage bill to absorb some of these professionals. However, in regards to that, we try to advocate through media, through press conferences, through organization of these World Radiography Days to celebrate these professionals and make awareness to these people so that they make sure that, okay, these people are there, they are doing this important role of doing this, maybe doing scans, doing MRIs, doing X-rays, and these X-rays are going to aid the diagnosis, and therefore we're going to have treatment of diseases with accuracy and precision. So already there is a wage bill which has been declared by government. There's going to be mass recruitment in 2025 and 2026. This is the document that I will share with you. So in this wage bill, if they have declared it, then it's upon those budgeting entities to declare vacancy for these professions. They are the ones to declare that this is critical, it's essential that we have a radiographer at our hospital. If they don't feel it's essential, they will declare a position for maybe a cleaner. They might declare a position for maybe a data entrant when they don't have a radiographer. So priorities will differ from entity to entity, but that's why we try to make awareness such that they are able to know that these people do this important role and we can put them among the priority list. So when they put in the priority list, they will generate a budget for it and we're able to recruit the person. So that was one of the challenges and one of the ways the site is addressing it. The other thing is we don't have an assistant commissioner in charge of diagnostics or medical imaging and radiotherapeutic services at the Ministry of Health. And one of the things that we're doing is engaging ministry collaboratively so that we set up a department or a division, because the department is the Department of National Laboratory and Diagnostic Services, NHLDS. But under that department, Pathology division is full, it had an assistant commissioner. The laboratory division is full, it has an assistant commissioner. So the only division which is missing is medical imaging and radiotherapeutic services, which if we have an assistant commissioner, he'll be able to plan and guide Ministry of Health in regards to these professionals. So that's why we are trying to interact with the commissioner. As you see, she honored our invitation and was able to come. We thank her. Dr. Susan, thank you very much for honoring our invitation and coming to speak to us. So that is one of the ways the society is also engaging in that end. The other one is we are having too many quacks. And that's why we invited the Professor Okiria, who is the chairperson of Allied Health Professions Council. The quacks are becoming too many. These scans where someone comes with a computer, they're like, hold this in your hand. Then when you hold it in your hand, it gives you like 10 diseases. Your heart is dead. Your brain has issues. Your lungs have this. Then they give you jerrycans of medicine. So this is what is happening. We're not saying it's wrong, but most of the times these computers come with apps that once you touch, or even a goat touches, it will still be given the same diseases as you, a human being, which is not right. So some of these technologies, yes, we have to be very careful and we have to be aware and make awareness to our people through such days celebrations of like World Radiography Day. We make awareness that you know what, actually there's no one single machine which can diagnose you from the head to the toe. So you have to be careful as the people who are there because some of them are ignorant, and us as professionals, it is upon us to educate them and show them that this is actually what is happening. But the good thing with some of our colleagues is they have gone ahead and gotten the bachelor's, they have gone ahead and gotten the master's. However, the redesignation of these professionals from the diploma cadre where they were recruited from to the bachelors where they are now at has not happened. And this has created that there is no space for the people who are getting diplomas to enter. When you promote these people, when you upgrade them to the title of medical imaging technologists, then they are creating space down for absorbing the other radiographers who are diploma cadres. At this side, we are also creating a motivation is career progression. So this is why it's important to create such pathways because if you don't create them, then these people are going to go to other countries like UK, like America, like Canada, like Australia, New Zealand. It's because the motivation and also the career progression, it's not there. I'll begin with one of the highlights that you have talked about, the Uganda nurses and midwives council and union. So for them, because they have a union, they have been able to bargain on behalf of the nurses and bring something for the nurses. We realize that most of these hospitals, the nurses have somewhere they can sleep because part of the bargaining of these unions and councils has been able to bring something for the nurses that is productive, that is helping them directly. So us as a society, apart from just education, there's something extra that we can give professionals. And that's why our executive is a bit different. We are trying to think outside the box. Can we benefit the professionals much more than just the education, just representing them? Can we benefit them more? Can we have a circle which can buy land where the radiographers can purchase plots at a low cost? Because right now land is very expensive. But if you're buying as a group, when it's a large land, then people can come and start buying slowly by slowly these small plots at a less cost when they are your members. So this is the power that comes with having a group of people. But if we don't work together, like we don't give them that benefit, like having just beyond books and adding knowledge, then they don't feel the need to associate with us. So one of the things that we are doing is to make sure that whatever we are doing, in the end goal is to create benefit to our members. We already had something about partnerships with some of these companies which came on ground. We had something that we wanted, however, it has hit us now. We had something like we had to have a bank, and then the Society of Radiographers from Uganda, and then the equipment supplier. Our members could, through our recommendation and the bank, go get a machine, be able to set up a facility, be able to work on Ugandans, get the money back, and pay back to the bank, and then the equipment supplier has already sold his equipment. The person has gotten self-employment or a business where they can be able to help Ugandans access to proper diagnosis. So that's some of the things that we're trying to build. That it has to be much more than just doing about education, CPDs and CMEs. We have to go much more and think outside the box. How can we benefit our members? How can we make sure that our members are also advocated for? For example, in the NDA bill, we had to write to them because the medical devices section was being headed by pharmacists, which for us we think is okay because it's National Drug Authority, but we must have some of these technical people in some of these departments. For example, the medical devices. How do you not have a radiographer? Then you're going to disturb people because you cannot check and verify some of these equipments. They are technical because you don't have that technical knowledge in that very field of medical imaging. So they're going to be manufacturers going to manufacture ultrasound gear. For example, if you want to be independent as a country, we need to manufacture some of these things here. We're going to have some of these people manufacturing lead shields. If you don't have a technical person and you bring a pharmacist to assess such a company, then they don't have the technical knowledge to do so. They don't have the technical competence to undertake that activity. So that's why we wrote some of these organizations. We're like, need to include some of our radiography professionals into the organization. And I'm glad that the parliament, through the clerk, received our submissions on that very bill of NDA Amendment Act. And I think in the coming future, possibly if they accepted them and the parliament passes, we shall have radiography professionals in this institution. So that is how we are being much more than just offering CPDs and going beyond to make sure that we will benefit the professionals, that the professionals can own the society, and when they own it, then they can be able to come for these events without being forced, but coming willfully.
Actually, even a National Drug Authority and these bodies need to reinforce. For example, when you look at the nuclear medicine department, there are radiopharmaceuticals coming into the country now. And yes, one could be a pharmacist, but when it comes to radionuclides, it will need a nuclear imaging technologist actually to have them cleared, or someone that did that. So I really believe that we need to
advocated that radiopharmaceuticals should be under their own class of medicine. They should not be grouped with the other drugs. They should be their own medicine.
Yes. Finish off the other question, how are you coping up with the changing technology as a society and development?
So the changing technologies, of course, technology is changing very fast, and we need to keep up. And some of our professionals are keeping up by going for CMEs and going for CPDs and going for also the courses themselves. But us as a society, what we can only do is to agitate for motivation of this staff to be facilitated to go and attend those conferences which are talking about these technologies, and also to have facilitation that when they acquire these skills, can they be facilitated maybe like in terms of financial, like elevation, promotion, and they be motivated in that way such that they can be able to be retained, because you're gaining a skill and then you go with it, then does it add to what we have sponsored you for. That money is gone. So we need to motivate, we need to facilitate these professionals to go attend and acquire these skills and bring them here where we shall be able to help our Ugandans. Then another thing that we do, we try to organize CMEs.
Mr. President, as we conclude this, as a president, what message do you want to pass to all Ugandan radiographers watching this podcast or episode today?
The message I want to pass to the radiographers and all aspiring radiographers, because we still need more numbers in order to serve Ugandans.
Yes.
Is there is hope. Yes, with awareness that we are creating, we hope to make the environment better for you to practice, for you to help Ugandans who are suffering with this need. In the next 5 to 10 years, I see us being a very powerful society which is able to help radiographers and also Ugandans advocating that they have the proper equipment, the proper people working on them, but also being of benefit to the radiographers by making sure that is at least having a transition that we are not just only being radiographers, but we also have wealthy people among the radiographers by having maybe plots of land that they can acquire, which at a loan, empowering our circle, they can be able to get loans and facilitate some of their needs.
Mr. President, thank you so much for being part of this, and thank you so much for leading the Fraternity of Radiographers in Uganda. We are so proud to have you. Thank you so much for leading through this year. Joining us is Mr. Nicholas Arbe, who was one of the panelists in the recently concluded celebration at Makerere Foods and Science Hall. Mr. Nicholas, you're welcome to this episode and presentation.
Thank you, Richard.
Mr. Nicholas, tell us, first of all, who are you and what do you do in this radiography fraternity by profession?
Yeah, basically, Nicholas Abel Waira, a radiographer turned into entrepreneur and business coach. And I've served in different capacities in the radiography field. My first leadership position was to be the president of the Makerere University Radiography Students Association.
Yes.
And yes, I went forward and became the vice president of the Uganda Radiography Association,
Yes.
after which I became president. And yes, I was also a board member of the radiography board at the Allied Health Professionals Council in Uganda, which is under the Ministry of Health. That is how I've served in the capacity of radiography.
Yes. Shortly, how are you seeing the growth of radiography in Uganda, in a nutshell, given that you've served in the different capacities?
In a nutshell, radiography has grown from zero to glory. It has grown from a point where the radiographers were countable by the fingers to now radiographers are many. It has also grown from having diploma-trained radiographers to bachelors. Now we have radiographers with PhDs, and they're actually doing wonders in the country.
To glory. Away from that, you are one of the presenters of in the last concluded conference. What did you present on, and what motivated you to have this presentation?
I presented about balancing profitability and cost in pricing ultrasound services. Basically, my presentation was based on a cost-based approach, where we determine all the different costs and be able to understand our costs before we actually get down to calculate our profit. And what motivated me to present this is I've attended conferences for the last, let's say, 10 years plus. And I have seen that everyone is always presenting about the radiograph, the technicalities, the technology developments, and everyone is ignoring the economics that are involved in the radiography businesses, because all of us have one responsibility, that even if we are technical, we have a responsibility to make sure that we keep the departments and our business units profitable, so that we make them a going concern. As Nicholas Waira, I focus on practical business solutions. So everything I present about is practical, not academia. So here what we did is to get two ultrasound businesses. One was a standalone and one was a business unit in the hospital. What we did was to get their fixed costs and the variable costs. And what we got very interesting to us was the variable costs. In the variable costs, we found that one of the businesses was using the traditional um, ultrasound sono paper, which
Yes.
is rolled on the roll.
Yeah.
And the other business was actually using high gloss sono paper, which is sold in a ream of 100 sheets. We saw that the one using high gloss paper was buying a ream at 15,000 shillings and could print up to 4 images per paper. And they would also use that paper to print the report. They wouldn't need an ordinary printer like for the ultrasound printer. What they need is a normal laserjet or inkjet printer to print. So
Yes.
basically, that cost is saved. And the one who was using ordinary sono paper was actually buying it at 55,000 shillings.
Yes.
What was more interesting is we decided to calculate the cost, the printing cost,
Yes.
the paper printing cost per scan.
Yes.
We
Yes.
found out that the one using original sono paper was spending 660 shillings per scan.
Yes.
And the one who was using the traditional sono paper was
yeah.
spending 660 shillings per scan, and the one using high gloss sono paper, which is new technology that is being brought by, I think it's being marketed by Cairo Medical in
Yes.
Uganda, and that person is spending up to only 160 shillings per scan.
Yes.
That is a significant difference. So that means at the end of the day, the EBITDA, the interest before the earnings before tax, depreciation, and interest will
Yes.
actually be more for one who has adopted to new technology of using high gloss paper compared to one who is using a traditional ultrasound printing paper.
More affordable, because to me what hurts me is if places located in the same facility are charging different prices and each is giving you different reasons. How can you help them become like fixed prices but also lower their prices?
Basically, what I can see is to sit down with them, help them calculate their costs. Especially the government facilities, they need to really calculate and understand their costs.
So, what advice would you give to young radiographers who want to develop a business or management skills in imaging services? Because we see so many young people who say, after I finish school, I'm going to sell my cows and then start up an imaging unit. What advice would you give them?
Basically, I would ask them to reach out to people like us to help them define their dreams, to define their goals, and also to help them break down the costs and their investment costs before actually they invest in the business. Then, for those who have already set up businesses, this is what I would encourage. I would encourage them to monitor on a monthly basis their average profit per scan. I would want them to monitor on a monthly basis their average profit per X-ray image they take. And after monitoring them, I need them to focus on what examinations are actually contributing to raising their average profit, and where are they getting these referrals from. Those are key factors they need to monitor on a monthly basis for them to be able to understand their business. And also, before they do any investment, I would like to advise them to basically understand the market they are going to put their business into.
Okay. Lastly, Nicholas, how do you feel joining the rest of the world celebrating the World Radiography Day every year as someone who is professional radiographer but turning into a business entrepreneur in the same line of profession?
Yeah, I feel great. I feel a sense of belonging. I feel that there's a lot that needs to be done and to improve this field, because it's basically new and there's a lot of developments that needs to be done, and I feel honored to basically be part of this celebration. And I thank our father, Roy TGN, for innovating this great technology that is helping us image the world.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. And thank you so much for being part of this year's celebration. We wish you the very best. And again, we pray that you continue inspiring more people into becoming actually business-minded people within the profession. Have yourself a good day, and bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Sonography. So we want to know how a celebration of the World Radiography Day actually feels like in the mind of a student. Arigan, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be on this platform.
Yes.
Go straight into what you asked, how it feels. Well, it always feels good for students to participate in these, conferences, in these programs, get a feel into what the real practice is, interact with professionals who are already up there and making it big. Story is a proud moment for students.
How has this celebration inspired you and your fellow students to appreciate the radiography profession more deeply?
Well, for a student, I think even just because having a physical connection with people in the field, that is, most of whom are rare, is not something to come about. So it's gives the courage that with reading, with more practice, with more interaction, you can also get to be a big person and make it in this field. And then also interacting with them, sharing their experiences, relating to what they've gone through, what they expect, giving you the pro tips of how to make it is always so special. And
let's talk about the experience of being a radiography student, because we know at one time we were all students. What unique challenges do radiography students face during training, especially in clinical practice?
I think the current challenges that we face now is the limited opportunities. The radiography is still a young field in Uganda, and as such, the placement opportunities are not so much. Even though that exist, we are fighting for those opportunities to be able to practice, enter in an ultrasound room and look at different pathologies. The CTs, the MRIs are still scarce. Even the professionals are not there to guide you, and with the increase in patient burden, it's a challenge. But we hope that in future we'll have more access to these practicum sites to be able to polish our skills.
I can imagine, because by the time I think I started in radiography, in the whole of Uganda, there were only 2 teaching institutions, actually 3. So one was Mulago Paramedical that had about 13 students, and the other one was Makerere University that I think that year had about a total of 21 students, that is year 1, year 2, and year 3. And then Iture that maybe had about 20 students, a total of about 60 to 70 students in the whole of the country. And so we had the opportunity of practicing in a private or public facility where we wanted. Now, in this interview, I've come to understand that the country has about 6 training schools. So, and each of them is having more than 30 students per class per year. This means
the number, I think, is even bigger than that, because I think at Ekure, the population now is around 3,000, the entire population.
I know you love digital world, and the world is going AI, the world is going digital. How is the university preparing you students for emerging technologies such as digital imaging, CT, MRI, and artificial intelligence?
I think at Ekure we are proud to have, I think, Professor Kaoya is someone that is abreast of that different technologies in ultrasound. Recently we had an AI conference, which was, I think, a 3-day conference for students to get abreast of the knowledge of AI, how to interact. And Accuray also has been at the leading front of procuring the different technologies.
What motivates you as a student radiographer to keep pushing, even with the limited resources, the limited practicing area, like you say, but you're destined to keep moving towards becoming a proper profession? What motivates you and your fellow students?
Well, for me, I really love this. I love radiology. Every day, that I wake up, I want to go to the clinical field and interact with the physics of the ultrasound, the X-ray. It has been something fascinating for me. So I have that zeal, and also to improve the patient conditions. I've been a patient myself. I've gone to hospital. So whenever I'm with patients, I always want to help them recover. That's big my role as an MIT, diagnosing problems for the doctor to know where to start from and heal these people. So
before us, there were great gentlemen like Mr. Tumwebas, Mr. Chitimbo, Mr. Frutu at Mulago Paramedical School, Dr. Roy Muboka at Makerere University, Mr. Mbati in the Nuclear Medicine Department, Dr. Irina Reiso at Mulago. These people that have the late Everest Katungwesi in the Therapy Department, the late Odong in the Cancer Institute, Mr. Buangu, Mr. Luo Fred, and those other people that we kept looking at, running to each time we had a problem. How do you and your peers envision contributing to the future of medical imaging in Uganda?
Well, as a student, I'm happy to know those names and to feel proud that I've interacted with those people.
Yes.
And with continuous practice, continuous motivation and interacting with these people, we are sure that in the next 10 years we'll also be there. And with us advancing individually, taking on different courses and academic advancements, we are very sure that we'll also reach that stage and be the big names in radiography. The university, as students, we had a case presentation, and that was about radiation safety and protection. It's still a bit of a challenge. Here, most people, I would say, don't know about the effects that radiation can do. And with our brothers from Makerere, where we had different interactions, talked about the challenges that we faced and how together as students we can come together, unite and address these things that we face.
Okay. And do you think the activities that you engaged in will cause any impact when it comes to radiation safety among the public, patients, but also your fellow staff?
Yeah, we surely do, because we hope that through much awareness, through education of the public, of our colleagues, of staff, radiation protection can be at the forefront. If people get to know more about these things, then they can know how to use them adequately, how to protect themselves from the adverse effects, and to protect their colleagues. So we are optimistic that we shall cause a great change in this country. Quite a number, actually. I think one is a gentleman called Mr. Gawa Jonas. He's the radiographer at Mbara Regional Referral Hospital. Then talk about Prof. Kawoya, the things that he has done. You can't help but really be motivated and hope that one day you'll also reach the level and expertise that he's at. And the other different people I've interacted with, my lecturers, Mr. Dumba, Mr. Diaby Samuel, quite a number to mention. Yeah.
Regan, as you go, how important is mentorship?
Well, mentorship is very key in all aspects of life, not even just medicine. Like even when we are growing up, we always have father figures or mentors to guide us. Do this, do that. If you make a mistake, they can ably correct you. Same as in imaging. We know that sometimes you might miss certain pathologies, you might misdiagnose, but when you have someone on your side to tell you, well, this is a cyst, this is maybe a mass, this is hemorrhagic, this is this is that, that goes a step further to shape you and to know the different things. And also because these people have been in the field, they can tell you what mistakes to avoid, how to handle certain things. So mentorship is so vital in each and every field, especially in imaging.
Okay, lastly, today you're a student. In the next 10 years, you're going to be a radiographer with 10 years of experience. Where do you see the radiography profession in the next 10 years?
One, I think now people have come to understand the importance of radiography.
Yes.
From students, from even the other clinical workers. So I'm optimistic that one, it is going to be a big field like it already is, and like we've been pushing, we hope government gets to implement the scheme of service to allow us to develop professionally and so much more. The future is very bright. I'm optimistic. Yeah. Thank you, Juan, for this opportunity, for allowing us as students to, put ourselves out to the world. And to all the students who are watching this, I encourage you to read, to practice, love what you're doing, and push yourselves to be better each and every passing day. That's my simple message. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
My name is Umar Mohammed Sani. I'm a diagnostic radiographer.
Yes.
Also a lecturer at Kampala International University, Western Campus.
Yes, Mohammed, what is the significance of celebrating the World Radiography Day for you as a lecturer, but also for students that you teach and other professionals in Uganda?
Yeah, the significance of celebrating the World Radiography Day can never be emphasized, specifically in the context of the society where we are in. And the main essence is that we are promoting the profession. As we are promoting the profession, we are making the public to know who we are, what is medical imaging, what is radiography, what we do. Many people see us, but they don't know what we do. Even in the medicine fraternity, some people are mistaking us, and we are few members of we are very few in the Ugandan context that in terms of population that we provide services in the diagnosis, and we are very key in these aspects.
How can schools of radiography, just like Ishaka, where you're teaching, use World Radiography Day to inspire the next generation of radiographers?
Yeah, schools can advocate for this World Radiography Day, especially by we go along with celebrating World Radiography Week. In the World Radiography Week, we can organize medical outreaches to nearby health centers, Health Center 2, Health Center 4, Health Center 3. We can go, we visit prisons. We can go again, visit secondary schools.
Yes.
To give them a career talk.
Yes.
In which, at the end, on the day where we are going to celebrate World Radiography Day, that is on 8th November, on that day, we shall celebrate by a public lecture.
In other words, you're calling on the organizers of these Radiography Day celebrations and the other schools at large to continue engaging the public through outreaches, going to hospitals, prisons, schools, especially secondary schools, because I also believe if the radiography fraternity went to secondary school, then they are going to inspire the students maybe who are still in high school and telling them about this profession. Because truth be told, me and you basically maybe didn't know about this profession until when you go to university. I remember my story when I was given this course. It is, I think, the first time I saw the word medical radiography. So it was even hard for me even to tell my parents that you now have been given a course at Mulago Paramedical called medical radiography. How do you think celebrations like this, where we celebrate the World Radiography Day, influence the public's understanding of medical imaging and patient care in Uganda?
Yeah, it is very important, especially when we are going to involve the social media. Involving the social media using the local language to explain the importance of the Katibi in patient care. Let me give you an example. Here in Western Uganda, specifically in Shaka, people hardly come to hospital for their care. They find it very difficult. But through advocacy, awareness, campaign, sometimes at least in the neighboring villages, providing also medical outreach, it will really help. It will really help. It will really help. To my ex-team students and co-student in training from other sister institutions in Uganda, I would like to inform you that radiographers or imaging technologists play a vital role in patient diagnosis. And there are a lot of opportunities to explore in this profession. Radiography is beyond the wall of hospital setting. Together, we can unite, and together we can promote the profession for better patient care, for better SRU, and better Uganda. For God and for my country.
Thank you so much, Saf.